Okay, so now let's look at 3a. We're going to try to compute the distance between a, b, and c. And this is our distance formula for 3 dimensions. So if we were just working with 2 dimensions here, that's what we would have. But when we jump to 3 dimensions, we add that third extra z1 minus z2 squared. And if we jump to 15 dimensions, then we would have 15 of these terms. It's just keep on adding them as you go. And we're going to start off by trying to look at this guy right here, the distance between A and B. So AB. So that's just going to be equal to the square root of, we're going to plug in our x1 is A and B is, or our 1 values and our 2 values are going to be A and B respectively. So we get 3 minus 1 squared plus 2 minus 5 squared plus 0 minus 1 squared. And the square root of that whole thing. So now this guy right here is going to be equal to the square root of 2 squared plus negative 3 squared plus negative 1 squared, and that's going to be equal to the square root of 4 plus 9 plus 1 is equal to root 14, and that is as pretty as we're going to get it for A and B. But we still have 2 more questions to ask. We have to figure out for AC and then for BC. So let's jump over to the distance between A and C. So that right here, we're going to plug into the same formula right here, but we're going to plug it in with these new values. So we get 3 minus 1 squared again, and then we get plus 2 minus 5 squared again, and then we get 0 minus 0 squared, which, surprise, surprise, is just 0. So we get the square root of 2 squared plus negative 3 squared plus 0 squared is equal to 4 plus 9 is equal to root 13. And that is as good as we're getting it for AC. And now let's solve for B and C as our remaining question. So the distance between B and C. So that's going to be, we're plugging into the same value, but we need to do now the square root of 1 minus 1 squared plus 5 minus 5 squared, and then 0 minus 1 squared. So that's going to be equal to 0 squared plus 0 squared plus 1 is equal to square root of 1 is equal to 1. And that's pretty easy to see when you look at these guys. You see that their x and y coordinates are the same, and that their z coordinate is exactly 1 apart. So these aren't going to contribute to the distance, and when you are 1 apart in any coordinate, just that coordinate, you can expect that your overall distance is going to be 1. So that is